Hey, what's up guys, in this video we're going to be going over DAW workflow with Nerve and how to get things from Nerve to your DAW and then back again. It's really quite simple. It's basically 3 different shortcuts. So there's one-shots, exporting one-shots, exporting loops, and then exporting the entire mix, like the entire thing that's playing right now. So we're going to be doing 2 of those things right now. So say if I want to export, say if I like that. It's basically you mouse over and you can see. A little bit confusing, but if you look down, right at the bottom, shift, control, drag. So you can shift, control, drag. You can also drag it to another pad, but we'll just drag it to the host. And now we have that, and we can load that into a sampler in Ableton or whatever you use, and that works out well. So we can use this just as like a sound processing plugin, and then bring it into Ableton and do stuff that Ableton's good at, like mix downs and like arrangement and all that fun stuff. All right, there's another thing we can do, and I'll explain that by opening up another version of Nerve. You can have 2 open because YOLO. So say if I wanted to, I exploded this loop, but I wanted to collapse it back into something else so I can, do other fun stuff to it. The other shortcut is, if I believe it is Control-Shift. Control-Shift. Okay, let's just guess. It's Control-Shift. I know it is. We drag that, and you'll notice that it starts beeping or blinking. Drag that in, and now we will solo that. That is that loop dragged into here, and now it's in its own little apparatus, in its own little one-shot. So essentially we can drag between Nerve, back again, and do all this fun stuff. Right, so we have that, and that sounds pretty cool. Let's add a kick. Alright, I'm going to show you do the kicks because they're cool. Alright, so we have our kick here. Alright, I'm going to go back to this and oops, take that out, take that out, take that out, and take that out. And I'm going to mess around with the resonance. No, not going to mess around with the resonance. Mess around with the pitch. Alright, I'm a techno guy if you can't tell. So say if I wanted to drag this, so we have, we know how to export one-shots, not by saving and then going into like an Explorer window and then dragging it back in. You drag it physically from the plugin itself, because all the pre-calculated effects and everything is rendered to RAM, and that's pretty useful. So we did the one-shot, we did the full mix, we exported that all into here. So now we want the loops. So what we can do is we can go Control-Alt and then drag that into here, and the kick as well. Right, and then we'll solo this, and then solo this, and now we have our sounds. We have those 2 loops in here, and we can do all sorts of fun stuff in Ableton. Oh, the fades are going on. There we go. All right, so we have that. Oh, but it's all playing also those 2. So what you can do is you can just mute Nerve down here, and then you can work on your project. And Nerve's not taking that much CPU. It's like negligible. Doesn't really matter. It's because it's all pre-rendered anyway. And you can do that, and then you can go back and be like, all right, so I want to make a variation. So you can do a variation. We'll just solo that. And we can go do this. Let's see. Right, we can just do that and then export that, and it's an entirely different friend we got going on. Right, so we'll unsolo that. Right, and we can just do that for days, and we can always go back to Nerve. This is how I would use it. There's more than one way to use it, of course. You can also save and all that. You can save, export this wave, export all waves. But it's easy just to drag it into your host, and it works quite well. And then you can drag it back into your host, I believe. Oh, no, yeah, you can. So you can just go nuts and do little effects, but you have to bounce it or consolidate it, right? And it just handles it very well. And that concludes my Nerve tutorial on how I would use it. There's a large performance aspect of it that I'm not too familiar with, but yeah, hope you learned stuff. There's also another view for people that might, so you go horizontal GUI, so you can just kind of stack these up, right? And you can have like 3 open, or just have them all, laid out, and you can have this on a separate monitor. It's really useful, and it integrates pretty well, and it's very useful. I've said it was useful. It is useful. It's pretty useful. All right. Take care, and hope you learn stuff, and have a good one.